how's it going? It's Mike here from Eggy with Ryan from Storm Sound, and we're going to do a little rig tour. Here we go. So I've got not too many pedals here, but things that I feel like are very essential for a lot of bass players, but especially for my sound. Let's just go from the top. So obviously it starts from my bass. This is my beautiful Sandberg Super Light TM5. I call her Sandy. It is one of the greatest instruments I've ever gotten a chance to get my hands on. It is incredibly light. It has really great pickups and preamp. It plays amazing. Ever since I switched to playing Sandberg, I couldn't imagine playing any other bass, and it does really well on the road. It's super stable. I never have to worry about making any real adjustments on it, which is great for being on the road so much. And it just sounds so much, it has the sound that I picture in my head when I hear my bass. This one has all of those sounds in it. And so I'm running this Sandberg right over into my pedal board here, tuner pedal. Nothing too crazy here. Peterson strobe stomp, really accurate, really easy to use. Never have any like clicking sounds or anything when I put it on. Can't recommend the Peterson strobo stomp tuners more than, definitely the best tuner I've had. Seems silly, but essential. From there, I'm running into this Panda Audio Future Impact, which is a great synth pedal. It takes the sound of my bass and turns it into basically a MIDI or synth keyboard. And I have a couple of really cool sounds that I get through that. Like this here is like a low octave kind of Moog synthesizer sound. Really great sound, really great for shaking the subs and making everybody's chest rumble when we need that. A couple of other sounds that I get through there. I call this kind of like it's another Moog synthesizer type sound. Really classic synth sound that I get from that. Another really cool sound that I like from that is this here. Got a really nice envelope to it. Try to, you know, it's not something that I use every night, but when I do use it, it makes a huge impact, future impact. And the Panda Audio stuff is really great. This is an older pedal, but you can update it with all the new firmware and everything. So even though this is the version 1, I have the version 3 software loaded on it, so it's perfect. From there, it goes into, I have an Eventide H9, which is here. I use that for a lot of different effects. You know, it's a multi-effects unit. It's got all sorts of different things. I use that for, let's see, my octave. Sort of that classic OC2 kind of sound, but the tracking is really good. I think it's a little bit better than some of those like Boss pedals that a lot of people use, but I've been able to dial in a really good sound with the H9. Let's see, what else do I got with the H9? I use the H9 for delays. That one's just a quick 1 repeat delay, but really great for creating grooves and stuff in jams. What else is on the H9? My overdrive. H9 is just a super versatile pedal. It works really well for bass and guitar, has a lot of really cool sounds. I use it for this also kind of trippy thing where I play a note and I can push a button and it slides up 2 octaves, which is great, again, just for like sort of like that maybe whale call-ish kind of sound. But it's really fun to slide that in. Whenever I do that, people are always like, where's that coming from? Which I love when people are maybe a little bit confused as to where the sounds are coming from on stage. Also use it for a little reverb. That one's really extreme, but I like it as just like a extra layer of effect in certain jams, especially when I'm playing really high up. When maybe Donnie is taking over some low-end stuff on the keyboard, I can move up here and play really melodic stuff, and it helps just fill out the sound. From my H9, I go into what I think is probably my favorite pedal, and definitely the pedal that I've had the longest out of anything on the board, which is the Soundblocks Pro Bass Envelope Filter. Another really great effects pedal. It does, you know, that classic envelope filter, auto wah kind of thing. If I do that. It's great because it holds a lot of the low end. A lot of times the envelope filters, they filter out the low end, but this one is really great because it has a 7-band EQ built in. So for even different patches on the same pedal, I can have different EQs, which is really, really helpful. Another great thing that pedal does is I can also run it as EQ only. So I can switch it to just being an EQ. I use this one, I call this one Slap. I use it for like, just give me a little bit of low end boost. Sometimes when you slap, you lose a little bit of the low end on the thumb. And it has also a little bit of high boost too for the pluck. But using that with the EQ just helps round out my sound, different effects. I also have on that same envelope filter pedal, just sort of like wah. Really great. Same thing, different EQ on that patch than my envelope filter or the straight EQ. Takes a little bit of getting used to this pedal. It's really deep. It took me quite a while to dial in the sounds, but once I had it figured out, it's the best sounding pedal. I've had it for so many years. The people over at Source Audio, they've actually fixed it for me multiple times because I can't be without it. I don't know if they make that pedal anymore, but they've been kind enough to fix it for me 2 or 3 different times when it's maybe been dropped or kicked around a little too much, which is something that does happen. After the envelope filter, I have 2 Boss pedals. This Boss BF2 Flanger here, this purple guy. That's sort of like that liquid bass, shimmery kind of sound. Great for funk stuff or spacey things, again, just for filling up some of that space, and the fluctuation really helps fill out the sound. Us being only 4 people, we do our best to try to make as much sound as possible. After the Flanger, just a standard Boss bass chorus, CEB3, I think this one is. Yeah, really light sound. Not too much going on there, but it does help for when especially if I'm really on my bridge pickup here. Really helps fill out that more nasally sound and evens it out a little bit. And then from there, the other thing that I use, which is an essential part to my sound, is a compressor. I have the API transformer CMP, really great pedal. That is always on. It's a light compression, just helps even out the sound a little bit, but it is an analog pedal, and I just love the sound of playing a bass in a studio. There's something about that sound I've always been trying to replicate with my live sound, and putting my compressor here at the end of my signal chain really just makes it sound like the studio recordings. I always found the bass sounds best when it's in the studio, and when you're in the studio, you have your bass, maybe your effects, and that goes into a compressor and then into your DAW or your onto tape or something like that. And I experimented a lot with the compressor pedal on where to put it in my signal chain to get the exact sound that I wanted to. And I found that putting it at the end helps me get that really hi-fi studio sound that I look for. Another essential part of this board is my Morningstar MC6, which is a MIDI controller here that controls most of these pedals here. The Future Impact, the Eventide, and the Soundblocks are all controlled by MIDI. So with just one tap of the button, I can turn on multiple effects at once. This one here turns on the Future Impact and the H9, with one tap here. I don't have to go scrolling around looking for patches. They're all just right here. Let's see what else. I also have this Mission Engineering expression pedal, which is hooked up to the Morningstar so that it can control multiple effects at once. So the Morningstar will allow me to, on a certain patch, I can, let me go to this octave sound, the envelope filter, or this, the expression pedal will control the mix of my octave. Or let's say with this sound here, that same pedal, which is just hooked up to the MIDI controller, controls the Soundblocks. So I can just have one expression pedal that can control many different pedals. And again, really essential for live performance, having this MIDI controller. I don't have to do a lot of tap dancing to find my effects. Everything is right here, ready to go. After that, that's basically all my effects pedals. I run that through my Aguilar AG700, amazing amplifier. I tried dozens of different amps before settling on this one, but the first time I plugged into the Aguilar, I played one note and I was like, that is how the bass should sound. And I've been with Aguilar ever since. They're a great company. They're in New York, which is also great for whenever I need some repairs done. I'm very close to the city, so I can drop it off and pick it up, and they've been really good at helping me stay on the road. And I also use Aguilar cabinets. I have the different super light cabinets as well. This is Aguilar SL210, and below it the SL212. I was just running the 212s for a long time. Just recently got the 210s. I feel like the 212 and 210 combo is perfect for my sound. I love the punch and the low end that I get out of the 212s, but having these 210s up right close to my back allows me to get the clarity that I'm looking for on stage. Oh, and another thing is I use the DI right out of the Aguilar. Again, tried really everything from, cheap DIs to really expensive DIs, and I found that the DI right out of here sounds the best. And that is basically all I have. Like I said, fairly simple rig, but gets done everything that I need to do. And very happy to be playing it tonight here at Adelaide Hall in Toronto. Can't wait to see you guys out there.